The New York Jets have a star player in the making, as Bleacher Report has pointed out the next breakout star coming out of the New York Jets, and it is an exciting rookie steal from this most recent draft, and we got to break this down. So what's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Jets Digest. Before we hop into the video for today, only 29.2% of viewers are subscribed to the channel. So if you are not subscribed, please take a second, hit that subscribe button. It really helps me and Chris out a ton. But hopping into the video, what we got for today, coming out of Bleacher Report, bringing in Aaron Glenn as the head coach means the New York Jets should expect to get the most out of their secondary. The first-year head coach is coming off of a season in which he helped Brian Branch have a great rookie year. It's notable that the Jets spent a fourth-round pick on Branch's teammate, Malachi Moore. I'm excited to have that player, Glenn said after the draft, per Zach Rosenblatt of The Athletic. Glenn also said he has some versatility, and I see him being utilized just like Brian Branch. Moore may have to beat out Tony Adams for a starting spot, but it would not be surprising if he pulls it off. His ability to play in the slot and deep at Alabama should give him an edge to help this secondary out right away. So, Malachi Moore, the player getting a lot of hype out of our head coach, Aaron Glenn, an ex-defensive back in the NFL. This guy has done it at the highest level. Aaron Glenn knows what he's talking about when it comes to cornerbacks and safeties and nickelbacks, anything defensive back in the NFL. The man was a first-round pick. He knows more about defensive backing than me, than anyone watching this video. He loves Malachi Moore. It's easy to see why. The guy was supposed to be a much higher draft pick, but the last 2 years of his career at Alabama, he kind of slowed down a little bit. He was on a very good trajectory. Many scouts had him maybe as high as the first round in some of their way too early mock drafts. Unfortunately for him, he slid down. Fortunately for us, we got an absolute steal in the draft. Malachi Moore is someone who can play a ton of positions when it comes to defensive back. He's probably going to end up somewhere in the nickel or at free safety. One of the things he does very well is he's a ball hawk. So if you're sick of watching Sauce Gardner catch the ball, drop the ball, which is understandable, Malachi Moore is someone who will be catching the ball when he gets his hands on it. Let's break down some of his positives as per Bleacher Report scouting report. So they have him at 6 feet tall. I've seen 5'11". His height's somewhere in there. Weight 198. Positives, he's a ball hawk with very good range as a wow. Excuse me. Ball hawk with very good range as a deep safety, drives and attacks the ball in the air, displays very good instincts and awareness of his threats in zone coverage. So, just like I said in the opener here, a guy who is going to catch the football when it's thrown in his area. He's smart enough to bait quarterbacks into making it look like a wide receiver is open, but then he rotates over, runs in front of the guy late, and turns a open wide receiver into an interception. We want to run up as many turnovers as we can, be as opportunistic as we can as a defense to put our offense in the best possible situation that they can be in. Because, looking at the wide receivers, looking at the quarterbacks, not supposed to be a top offense. They're going to need all the help they can get. Moving on to our next positive here. Has the versatility to play deep as well as drop down and play man coverage over the slot receiver. Does a very good job of keeping his leverage as well as showing the change of direction necessary to stick with most receivers. So that last line is bringing up the fact that this is an athletic player, which is most of the reason why he's able to be so versatile. This is someone who, if you're watching him on a film, he gets very deep down into his stance and is able to stay low while moving right, left, forward, and back. He's an athletic player. That's why we are not going to be scared if we do have to match him up in the slot against someone on the opposing offense. We know Stephen Wilkes, our new defensive coordinator, wants to scheme up some ingenious blitzes, and he's going to be moving defensive backs all over the formation. So Malachi Moore is going to be a perfect fit for that defense, exactly what Stephen Wilkes wants to do with his defensive backs, specifically his safeties. One thing that is important to mention, we do have one of the best slot corner, nickel corners, slot corners, whatever you want to call them, in the game of football, one of the highest paid guys in Michael Carter II. So we are not going to be making Malachi play against those slot wide receivers. So if he is not comfortable against those guys, we expect him to be comfortable. But if he isn't, it's not going to be a big deal. He won't have to hang out there for too long. We can put him back where he would be more comfortable at his free safety position. Let's finish this off with his final positive here. Secure tackler in the open field, takes good angles to the ball and wraps up ball carriers, getting to the ground with a little extra yardage. This is a little bit funny because tackling is actually one of his negatives as well by Bleacher Report, so we're going to see how that works out. But the point that Bleacher Report is trying to make is this is a player who isn't a big hitter, but he's a safe tackler, which is what you're looking for out of your safeties. You know, we have a couple defensive backs. Honestly, our whole defense last season struggled when it came to tackling anyone on offense. So it is good to bring in guys who are secure tacklers. Maybe Malachi Moore won't be forcing fumbles, but at least he will be not allowing guys to run through him and get more yards after the catch. Let's move on to his negatives as reported by Bleacher Report. Only 2 of them. Lacks ideal physicality when playing in the box. He doesn't show hand usage to shock, control, or to be quickly to disengage from blockers. So what they're talking about here is as soon as the ball is snapped, if you're in press coverage, the first thing the corner is going to do is try to get his hands on the wide receiver. Inside 1 yard from the line of scrimmage, cornerbacks, defensive backs are able to grab wide receivers and hold them, pull them, do whatever they want to do. So Malachi Moore is not good at, as soon as the ball snapped, grabbing the wide receiver and not letting him get anywhere. So to start his career, we will not want to start him in press coverage. We're going to want him a little bit farther off of the line of scrimmage. And he is not going to be someone who is, again, has a lot of physicality. When it comes to the run game, to start his career, he can, of course, when players are this athletic, it points us out to the fact that they should have a higher ceiling, so we can teach them to become more physical players, teach them to be better tacklers and better run defenders. That's why you draft guys with high upside like a Malachi Moore. Not a big banger, more of a wrap tackler who will ankle bite at times. Honestly, not every safety can be Cam Chancellor. As long as Malachi Moore is getting these players to the ground, I am perfectly fine with however he's going to tackle these guys. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, he has to stick him. He's got to hit him really hard. Like, that's what our linebackers are for. That's what our defensive linemen are for. I understand a big hit can energize the crowd when we're at home or get the defense excited on the road or even force a fumble, which I was talking about his ability to force turnovers or interceptions. Now a fumble, obviously the other kind of turnover, he is not as good as doing that. We're going to just say, go out and do whatever you're good at. If you're good at interceptions, go get some interceptions. You know, we always say on this channel, these players that you're getting in the 4th round or pretty much anything other than the top of the draft, these guys aren't going to be perfect. We can't have it every single way. These guys are not creative players on Madden. Every single player comes with pros. Every single player comes with cons. They come with strengths. They come with weaknesses. It's up to our defensive coaching and the defensive play calling to put our players in the best chance that they have to possibly succeed. That starts with Aaron Glenn. I understand he is not the defensive coordinator. That job is Stephen Wilkes, but we know Aaron Glenn will have a say in what every single defensive back specifically will be doing when it comes to this new New York Jets defense. Aaron Glenn will be no doubt coaching up these young defensive backs, teaching them how they used to do it back in the day and how they can do it at a high level going forward in an NFL that changes absolutely every single year. This is just another pro of a long line of pros that Aaron Glenn brings to the table. Loving this coach every single day. So thankful that Woody Johnson was able to make the smart decision of bringing in Aaron Glenn, a leader of men, a coach who everyone respects, and the dude knows football like the back of his hand. Very excited for Aaron Glenn. But that's what I got for the video for today. So if you enjoyed the video, please hit that like button, hit the subscribe button if you're new, and as always, go Jets.